let's get started. So a full moon, a full super moon that's called the pink moon tomorrow night, and it's in Scorpio. So I don't know if any of you have been feeling that full moon energy. As always with the full moon, we get a little bit more emotional. Things feel a little bit more unbearable, I guess. I'm trying to think of my kids and the reactions that they've been having lately. And it's been very, extremes, highs and lows. And if you think of the full moon, it's I always compare it to like a pregnant woman, right, who hits 41 weeks, right, past the due date. And everything is just pushing up. And Scorpio is a darker, deeper, it's also a water sign, so it's very emotional. So if you're feeling extra lately, that's fine, right? We roll with the punches. All right, let's get started. So sit with a nice tall spine. And what I want to work with this morning, a couple of things. I want to work with our own inner knowing, our own inner trust. So we have all of the answers that we ever need. Process, part of the healing journey, part of awakening, coming online, whatever term you like to use, is that it would be really nice if we had a manual, like read this book first, take this supplement, use this essential oil for that, right? It would be super easy. And we have a lot of resources outside of us with people that share their experiences and research and all of that. But really what works for you, only you know that. So the question, can be asked, is this my, am I experiencing my crown chakra during this sensation that I'm feeling or during this meditation? And the answer is maybe. What are you feeling? What is it for you? So part of this process is really uncomfortable in that we have to really trust ourselves and that we don't get that validation or confirmation outside of us. And that goes way deep where, lifetimes and lifetimes of looking for confirmation or validation or whatever. And so it's a great opportunity to turn within and go, okay, well, what is the truth for me? And give yourself flexibility that your truth, just like everything else, is going to change and it's going to evolve. Even, look at science. Science is constantly in motion and changing, and theories and like with everything else in life, there really is not many concrete definites. There are, of course, right? It's a concrete definite that a hardwood floor is hard. That doesn't mean that over time, if you were to put water on this hardwood floor, it would soften, right? And so therefore that hardwood floor would no longer be a hard wood, it would be a softer, damaged wood. So give yourself that flexibility that everything is always going to be in flux. All right, that's my spiel and I'm sticking to it. Sit with a nice tall spine, rest those hands down onto your knees, and take a moment to just land into this moment together. So tall spine, crown of the head lifts up towards the ceiling, towards the heavens, tailbone roots down. Draw those shoulders up to the ears and then slide them back and down. Allow that root chakra, the base of your being, your foundation, to get firmly planted into your mat, into your seat, into whatever surface you're on. Lock the back of the neck, lift with the heart, tuck the chin slightly. And do a full body scan. Starting at the toes and just observing without any judgment. Checking in with the ankles, the shins, the calves, the knees, tops of the thighs, the hamstrings, the right hip, the left hip, the belly, the low back, all the way up the spine, the center of your heart, the space between the shoulder blades, tops of the shoulders, the throat, the neck, the jaw, the forehead, the ears, the eyes, the nose, the crown of the head. Calling all the pieces of yourself from the past and from the future to be here in this now moment. Observing what your clothing feels like against your body without any judgment, what the air feels like against any exposed skin, the temperature of the air. Feel the support of the ground, the earth below you. Check in with your whole physical being. Any aches or pains, areas of tension or tightness where the energy feels stuck, depleted, excessive. Taking a moment to silently ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? Maybe it's a stretch. Maybe it's water. Maybe it's love, compassion, support, peace. What do you need in this moment? What can you cultivate and create and take away from your practice this morning or whenever you practice the sequence? And now shifting that awareness inwards, checking in with your mental, emotional body. If you're feeling tired or energized, happy or sad, joyous, nervous, neutral, fearful. Maybe you are all of these things. Maybe you have no idea how you're feeling, and all is perfectly well. If you're not sure, observe the unknowing. If you're feeling this full moon energy, observe that. Observe the fullness, the emotions, the depth. Keep sitting nice and tall. Draw those shoulders down. Lift with that heart even more now. And now shift that awareness to your breath. How is the air moving in and out of your body? Is the breath labored or shallow? Are you using the full capacity of your lungs, or perhaps the breath is restricted to the upper chest, where we take those short, shallow breaths all too often during the day. And when we do so, when we breathe just in the upper chest, we know that we create a lot of feelings of anxiety and depression. Physically, we pull down on the traps and we round the shoulders in, closing off our heart center. So maybe see if you can pull those shoulders back and allow the scapulas, the shoulder blades, to meet a little bit closer towards the center of the spine. Lift with that heart even more. Just observe your breathing without any judgment, without changing it just yet. Notice the quality of your breath. Your breath is such a huge gauge as to how you're doing. You can say you're fine. You can even trick yourself into thinking you're fine. But checking in with your breath will reveal part of your truth. Take a nice long, deep inhale. Push the belly out. Fill up your lungs. Bring that breath all the way up through the collarbone. Pausing at the top, hold this breath, this precious life force. And then when you're ready, slowly with control, exhale through the nose. pinching off the vocal cords, finding your Ujjayi breath, that ocean sounding, Darth Vader sounding breath at the back of the throat. Inhale fully, push that belly out. We know we have those feel good hormones that reside in our bellies and we want to stimulate them. Fill up your lungs, bring that breath all the way up through the collarbone to the throat, pausing, softening those shoulders, hold the breath, maybe take another sip or two of air if you have it. Feel that expansion in the lungs, in the ribs, and when you're ready, slowly with control, release. Use that Ujjayi breathing. Last one, inhale fully, deeply, and completely. Holding your breath up at the top, soften any tension in the shoulders, in the jaw, in the forehead. And exhale to release. Good. And resume your normal breathing and just observe what space you created just in those 3 deep breaths. Gently opening up the eyes. We'll do a little brain balancing before we get into our practice. So you're going to take your thumb and your pinky, so it's like the hangman, and you're going to block off the right nostril with your thumb. Push the breath out. So take an exhale through that nostril, left nostril. Now inhale through the left nostril. Close off the left and exhale out the right. Good. Close off the right. Inhale through the left. And exhale through the right. Eyes are closed. Close off the right nostril. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Good. Now stay here. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the right. Close off that right. Exhale through the left nostril. Last one. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Good. Float that hand down. Eyes stay closed. Observe the breath equally entering and exiting through the nostrils. Good. Gently open up the eyes. Bring those shoulders up to the bottom of the ears and start to create nice, big, slow circles. So inhaling to bring them up to the bottom of the ears and then pushing them back behind you and sliding down along the spine. And notice those little creaks, any tension. And when you do 3, 4, 5 in one direction, you can go ahead and switch to the opposite direction. So rolling those shoulders forward and with control, and observe which one feels more comfortable for you. You feel complete, settling back in. Drop your chin to the chest, open up the back of the neck, and take a few breaths here. Inhaling fully, deeply, and completely. Plant those fingertips right into the knees. Shoulders draw down. Good. The chin up. So the chin is down to the center of the chest. Rock the right ear over to the right shoulder. And then chin comes back to center, left ear to left shoulder. So gently bobbing from side to side. Move nice and slow. And when you get to an area that feels really tight, just pause for a few seconds. Breathe into that space. See if you can create tension. See if you can release tension in the neck. Keep breathing fully, deeply, and completely. Good. And And then when that feels complete, bring your chin back to the center of your chest. Lift the neck, lift the gaze up so you have a nice neutral spine. And with the crown of your head, draw circles on the top of your ceiling. So it's almost like you have a collar. Visualize that you have a collar on your neck. And so we're just very slowly, micro movements, creating circles with the crown of our head onto the ceiling in one direction. And the eyes can be closed or soft gaze. And switch directions, creating circles in the opposite direction now. Bringing some nice gentle movement to the neck. And when you feel ready, come back to center, open up the eyes, extend the legs out in front of you, toes point up towards the ceiling. And we're going to inhale, bring those arms up, spiral the pinkies in, shoulders draw down away from the ears, fill up your lungs. And then as you exhale, hinge forward, reach for those big toes with your peace fingers or reach for the ankles, the knees, wherever things land. Is we're gonna inhale to lift, exhale to round in. Inhale to lift, open up the chest, draw those shoulders down. Exhale to round in. So start slow. And then when you get the motion down, pick it up. So we use that breath of fire. Those elbows draw down towards the earth. All the breath is coming through the nose. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come forward. Few more seconds. Good. Inhale to lift. Exhale, round forward. Soften the shoulders. Maybe release the hands and hold the soles of the feet. Releasing anything that no longer serves you, anything, any relationships with yourself, with others, any old beliefs, allowing that to leave through the space between the shoulder blades. Drop the chin to the chest. Soften your jaw. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Toes are still pointing up towards the ceiling. Good. And then inhale to slowly come out. Bring those hands behind you to the outsides of the hips. Now point those toes in front of you. So this is a great one for the immune system. We're going to lift the hips. So it's like we're coming into a reverse plank. Gaze is down at the toes and start pumping that navel with breath of fire. So we focus on the exhale. Inhale comes natural. Keep those hips lifting. Inhale here. Lift those hips even higher. And exhale, slowly lower down. Good. Take a bend in that left knee and cross that right over, or bend in the right knee, crossing it over the left knee. So we stack the knees. Now you can stay right here or take that left foot and swing it around. So we stack. So whatever feels good for you. Get nice and equally seated on your sit bones. Arms come out to a wide T. Take that left arm and bring it to a 90-degree angle. Then you're going to take the right arm, swoop it underneath. And so the palms touch. Keep those hands pulling away from the face. Eyes are closed. Long, deep breathing. And just observe whatever comes up, whatever discomfort, emotional discomfort, mental discomfort, physical discomfort. If you want this experience to be any different than it is, just observe that. Inhale to push the belly out, fill up the lungs, bring that breath all the way up through the collarbone. Exhale to release. Use that Ujjayi breathing. Inhale fully, deeply, and completely. And exhale to release. Last one. Inhale fully, deeply, and completely. Holding the breath, allow that energy to rise up from the root, the base of your spine, all the way up through your crown. Exhale to release. Good. Go ahead. Unwind those arms out. Bring them down onto the earth in front of you. Stack that chest right over the knee. And then drop the chin to the chest. Soft jaw. Let everything settle. Good. Inhale to come back up. Unwind those legs. Come back to having seated pose, legs extended out in front of you. Now we'll take that whole sequence on the opposite side. So bend in the left knee, stack it right over the right knee, and you can stay right here or swing that right leg around and stack the knees. So just make sure that you're seated equally. You can always prop up. If you tend to lean on one hip, you can always bring the earth up. Arms are out to a wide T. Then take a bend, bring that right arm in front of your face, gazing at that palm. Take the left arm, swoop it underneath. Palms touch. Keep those hands pulling away from you. Nice shoulder stretch here. Get comfortable with the discomfort. Notice what comes up. Eyes are closed. Those arms are at a nice 90-degree angle. Elbows are lifting. Hands are pulling away from you. And take 3 cleansing breaths in. Inhale fully, deeply, and completely. Bring that breath all the way up through the collarbone. Allow that energy to rise from the base of your being all the way up through your crown. Exhale, use that Ujjayi breath. Really push all that air out of your lungs before you inhale next. Push the belly out, fill up the lungs, bring that breath all the way up through the collarbone. Exhale to release. Last one, inhale fully, deeply, and completely. Hold that breath up at the top. Keep those elbows lifting. Keep those hands pulling away from you. exhale to release. Go ahead and unwind those arms. Plant the forearms down onto the earth, or if you have pillows, bring the earth up to you, or blocks or books or whatever. Drop the chin to the chest, soften the jaw, and let everything settle here. Inhale to slowly wind up out of the pose. Unwind those legs. Take a bend in the knees. Windshield wiper the legs side to side. Bring some movement to those hips. Bring the soles of the feet together into butterfly. So depending on where you want to feel this in your body, if you're working with root chakra, foundation, tribes, stability, themes in your life, or maybe you have really tight adductors, right? Maybe the groin's really tight. Bring those feet closer to the midline. If you want to feel this more in the low back, if you're working with more sacral energy, with your relationship to power, with your sexuality, with relationships, then send the feet further out to the top of your mat. And the other thing, as always, when you're in any class, is to flirt around. Come into one version of the pose and maybe test out the other one and see what fits best for you this morning. I typically tend to bring everything in nice and close, so I'm gonna have my feet further apart, further out in front of me. So inhale, lift with your chest here. Draw those shoulders down. And then as you exhale, lead with your heart. Come as close as you can to those feet. And then round everything in. Drop the chin to the chest. Let the head hang nice and heavy. If you want to walk those arms out in front of you, that's another option. Plant those fingertips into the earth. Long, deep breathing here. There's no tension in the jaw. With each exhale, notice, where can I sink and soften deeper into the pose? What can I let go of? What physical part of me? What emotional part of me? What mental part of me? Take a nice long, deep inhale. Fill up those lungs. Open up the mouth. Let it all out. Inhale fully and deeply. Bring that breath all the way up through the collarbone. And when you're ready, exhale through an open mouth. Last one. And you're ready to exhale through an open mouth. Good. Inhale, start to slowly walk yourself up. Bring those hands behind you again. Knees come to center. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. Bring some movement to those hips, to the low back. Good. We're going to come into a quick twist, and then we'll make our way down onto our bellies. So extend out that left leg again. Take a bend in that right knee. Cross the right foot over. And then you're going to take that right arm, inhale it up. And as you exhale, twist over, bring the knee to the inside of that knee. And then we're going to come into Gyan Mudra. So the thumb and the index finger meet. Now take that left arm out, swing it to the side, swing it all the way behind you, tent those fingertips, get a little bit of a lift, gaze over the shoulder, chin is slightly lifted. Long, deep breathing. Go ahead and unwind out of that pose. Extend the right leg out. Take a bend in the left knee. Step the foot to the outside of that knee. Take that left arm, bring it up. And then as you exhale, bring that elbow to the inside of that knee. Gyan Mudra, thumb and the index finger come together. Take that right arm out in front of you and then swing it back. Place it down. Tent those fingertips maybe. Open up that chest, gaze over the shoulder, chin is slightly lifted. Long, deep breathing. Bringing out any emotions, anything that no longer serves you. Maybe get a little bit more of a twist in there. Go ahead and unwind out of the pose. Make your way onto your bellies. Onto your bellies. The third eye makes contact with the earth. So what we are going to do is we're kind of like going to fly like superheroes. So the third eye makes contact. The palms face down towards the earth. The big toes are touching. It's almost like the leg becomes one. So we're like a mermaid. On the inhale, go ahead and lift everything. You can stay right here. Palms face down. Gaze is down towards the top of your, down in front of you. You can stay here or take a bend in those knees. Reach for the feet and come into a back bend. You would lift the chin up a little bit. So breathing here, whatever feels good for you. Inhale to lift a little bit higher and squeeze. And exhale, slowly release everything down. Palms face down. Release your chakras into the earth. Good. Then slide those hands underneath the shoulders. Gently push the earth away from you. Very slowly make your way into a child's pose. The knees can be together or apart, whatever feels good for you. The third eye makes contact with something. So if you can't, if it does make contact with the earth, stack those fists and rest the forehead down there. Long, deep breathing. And then rise up onto all fours. And we're gonna flow a little bit here. So from our tabletop position, the knees are right below the hips, the hands and the wrists are right below the shoulders. So we're gonna inhale here. Exhale, we're gonna tuck the toes, push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale to come back to table. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, table. Pull those shoulders back. Exhale, child's. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, tuck those toes. Push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Stay in your down dog. Go ahead and walk your legs if that feels good. Maybe getting a little twist here, dropping one hip down and twisting, and then the other. Shaking out the head yes and no. Make sure you're sending energy into those fingertips so that you're taking pressure off of the wrists. Good. Then rise up onto both toes, the toes of both feet. Push your chest towards the tops of those thighs. And then exhale, let those heels sink down. Coming into your fullest expression of a downward facing dog today. Gaze is between the knees. Inhale fully, completely through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, fill up. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Inhale, fill up. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Plant that left foot down. Get nice and strong and steady in it. Inhale the right leg up. Toes point, so you can point and flex the foot here. Maybe create circles in one direction with the ankle, and then in the opposite direction. Good. And then step that foot to come right between the hands. So we're coming into a runner's lunge. Perfect. Drop down onto that back knee if you would like, if that feels good for you. Keep that knee stacked right over the ankle. Inhale the arms up. Spiral those pinkies in. Draw the shoulders down. Maybe get a little back bend here. 3 breaths. Inhale to fill. Exhale to release. Inhale to fill. Exhale to release. Go ahead and float those arms down. Rise up onto those back toes. Plant the hands down. Swing that leg around. Come to your high push-up or plank. Inhale here. As you exhale, you can always come down onto your knees too. Slowly lower down, chaturanga. Hover if you can. Slide through to cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good, release that side. And then plant that right foot down. Send the left toes up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, pointing and flexing the foot. And then drawing circles with the toes in one direction, getting some movement in the ankle. And then the opposite direction. Good, then take that foot and step it right between the hands. Coming into a nice lunge. You can drop down onto that back knee if you would like. Stack the knee right over the ankle. Inhale the arms up. Spiral those pinkies in. Shoulders draw down. Maybe a slight back bend here. Long, deep breathing. Inhale to fill. Exhale to release. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, float those arms down. Rise up onto those right toes. Swing that left foot back up to that high push-up or plank. Before we chaturanga, we're gonna side plank. So take that left hand and plant it down in front of you. Spin on those feet. Spin onto those feet. Open up. Send that right arm up. You can always come down onto the left knee as well for more stability. Breathe here. Don't hold your breath. Let all the shakies, those are just the demons leaving your body. Good. On your next exhale, take that right hand, float it down, come back to that high push-up or plank. Slowly lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, glide through cobra or up dog. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. we'll take that on the other side. So go ahead and spin to open up to the left. Send that left arm up. Drop down onto that right knee if you would like. Long, deep breathing. Engage that core. Good. On your next exhale, go ahead and float that left arm down. Come back to that high push-up or plank. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower down, chaturanga. Hover if you can. Inhale to slide through cobra or up dog. I know your arms are shaking. Exhale to child's pose. Maybe bring those arms down and hold the soles of your feet. Allow the breath to settle. And then making your way back to a tabletop position. Tuck those toes, coming into a downward facing dog. Gaze up between the hands. Walk the feet to the hands. Come into a forward fold. Grab onto opposite elbows. And you can sway from side to side here. Shake up the head, yes and no. Good. Release the hands down. Inhale, flat back, proud chest, monkey. You can even slide those hands right underneath the kneecaps. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, proud chest, monkey. Pull those shoulders back down towards the hips. Nice straight legs. Exhale, forward fold. Micro bend in the knees. Inhale, flat back, proud chest, monkey. Exhale, fold forward. 2 more. Inhale, flat back, proud chest, monkey. Exhale, fold forward. Last one. Inhale, flat back, proud chest, monkey. Fill up your lungs. As you exhale, sink the glutes back. Come into your chair pose. Good. And we're going to flow here. So inhale to rise up, maybe come into a slight back bend. Exhale into chair. Inhale to come up. Exhale down into chair. Last one. Inhale to come up. Exhale to chair. Bring those hands together in prayer position. Big toes tuck. Inhale here. As you exhale, bring that left elbow to the right knee. So we're twisting in our chair, and you can stay right here or open up the hands. Gaze is up at the thumb. We're really twisting all those emotions out of us. We're almost done, I promise. Good. Bring those hands back together. Unwind out of the pose. Inhale, maybe get a slight back bend here. As you exhale, come back into that chair. Hands are at prayer. Take a twist on the opposite side. So now the right elbow comes to the left knee, and you can stay here or send those arms nice and far apart. Gaze is up at the thumb. Keep those glutes sinking down. Bring those hands back together. Unwind out of the pose. Rise up. Slight back bend. And exhale. Bring those hands through prayer. Eyes are closed. And just let everything settle. Maybe a little bit of pressure in the palms. Thumb is at the breastbone. The knees are soft. Good. Gently float those eyes open. We'll come into a tree pose, and then we'll call it a day. Send the energy into the left foot and turn onto the toes of the right foot. So you can keep your toes right on the earth and stay right here. If you want to bring that foot above or below the knee, that's an option too. Arms are for comfort, so you can have them up overhead, you can have them out to the sides, you can keep them in prayer, you can come into a reverse prayer so that the hands are in prayer behind the back. Whatever feels good for you. Find your drishti, so a point that's not moving. I would recommend, it can either be straight in front of you or maybe even something down on the floor. Like in my teacher training, we put pennies and that's what we would stare at. There's no tension in the jaw. Engaging the core. Take a nice long deep inhale. Pressure to the palms. And exhale to release. Shake out those hands, shake out that left foot, maybe bring some movement to the hip before we move on to the next side. All right, when you're ready, plant that right foot down, come up onto those left toes, and you can stay at the ankle. If you're calling in balance, if you're calling in stability and all of those energies to help support you right now, stay right here and enjoy what that feels like. You can always bring that foot above or below the knee and never on the knee because you never want to compromise your knee joint. And then the hands can be, again, for balance. So at the heart center, out to the sides, arms up overhead, maybe cactus arms, whatever feels good for you. Take what you need to help you cultivate that energy of the tree, right? To be rooted, to grow tall, to have courage, to be flexible, to move with the wind, to bend and not to break. To release what no longer serves you. Take a nice long deep inhale. Pressure to the palms. Exhale to release. Shake those arms out. Big shoulder shrugs. Bring some movement to the right hip. Good. And then inhale those arms up. Slight back bend here. Exhale, swan dive. Come into a forward fold. Good. Plant those hands down. Step back onto your knees. Coming into tabletop, and then slowly make your way to child's just for a few breaths. Good. Then making your way onto your backs. Once on your backs, bring those knees into your chest. Give a little bit of a squeeze, massage out the low back. And we'll come into a quick inversion. So you can come into waterfall. We send the legs straight up. If you're near a wall and you want to come into legs up the wall, that's another option. If you want to come into a shoulder stand, you would hoist the hips up. Lock the back of the neck. Don't look from side to side. You can always come into plow here too, where we take those legs and send those toes mindfully to the earth behind you. So whatever feels good for you. When you're ready, start to slowly bring those knees back into your chest. Bringing the spine one vertebrae at a time down onto your mat. Hug those knees into your chest. Massage out the low back, rock from side to side. Good, and then extend the legs out in front of you. Reach the arms up overhead. Get a nice full body stretch. And as you exhale, float right into a very quick little Shavasana. The arms come out to the sides, legs splay open. It's like you're like a starfish, knowing that you have nothing to do and no place to be, just for a few moments, but let the effects of your practice sink in. Soft jaw, smooth forehead, maybe even part the lips slightly. Softening all the muscles of your face. Feeling supported by the earth. Turning the gaze up with the eyes closed, up and into the third eye. To your wisdom, your inner knowing. Starting to bring some movement to your fingers and your toes and gently rocking the head from side to side, bringing some awareness back into your bodies. Maybe a full body stretch. Whatever organic movement feels good for you in this moment. And then make your way onto your right side, coming into the fetal position. As always, we go from our corpse pose, which is the death of our practice, the death of what we let go of and no longer serves us, and we come into the fetal position as a symbol, a rebirth of ourselves. And we're working with that, trusting ourselves and that we have all the answers within us already. We don't need validation or confirmation from anything outside of us. So take a moment to set that intention to carry with you off your mat and into the rest of your day, your week, your life. Set the intention of trusting yourself, of allowing yourself to tap into your third eye, into your wisdom, into your connection to the divine, knowing that you always make the best decisions for you, that your intentions are always authentic, and that you are always divinely guided. When you're ready, make your way into a comfortable seated position with the eyes closed. Taking a moment to check in, just like we do at the start of class. Notice your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body. Notice whatever shifts you made. Notice what you discovered, what needs work, what you've released. Sitting in full appreciation and gratitude to yourself for taking this time for you. Gathering the hands together in prayer position so that the thumb rests at the breastbone. Bow the face slightly towards the fingertips. Take a moment to cultivate an intention of love and light and peace from your heart and allow it to pour out through your fingertips, going out to the whole world, out to the universe. Blessing every being, sending love and light and peace to all walks of life, to all timelines, out into the universe, knowing that whatever you put out comes back to you. I wish you all peace and presence. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.